did the vacuuming the chapel.
Uh-huh.
And at first I used to think I don't want to do that, but actually I do because I have a system now and I just get it done. And then I feel like, you know what? That took an hour, that took 40 minutes. I'm going to go home now and I feel like I did my part. Okay.
No, you can go watch TV right now. I told you that. Go watch TV until I am done, okay?
Mom. But
What?
Dad always says.
But that's Dad. Dad's not here. I get to be the one in charge, and I'm different than Dad. Okay? Okay, then you can go clean your room. I'm okay with that too.
Oh, this is what I deal with.
Okay, you have 5 seconds to make a decision. To go clean your room or go watch TV. 4, 3, 2.
It's a hard one. Yeah. It's not just me.
No, it's and what's fun is when they all hit that. There always seems to come a stage where they have to test the boundaries.
Uh-huh.
And it's really fun when they all hit it about the same time.
How old are your twins now?
14.
Oh, okay. So that was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, mine's 7, and yesterday he was just complaining to me that he has nothing to do, and I just did not have the time to. I'm like, I had you make a list yesterday of 20 things that you like to do. Go again.
I know. It's been how long since school got out?
I can't play with you all day. I do things while you're at school. Okay, can you look at the Excel? I sent it last night. Let me know if you're able to find it. Basically, I felt like I was just copying things. And I don't know. You had written in the lesson 10 notes to compile things. As I went through it, I realized I'm just putting things as they were. I wondered if I should be coding any of it or if I should be condensing it with VLOOKUP. But I figured we could figure that out today.
Maybe I'll just. Is it in Drive or?
No, I sent it to your Gmail. But I can try.
Hang on. Let me just.
Like I was in Excel. I used the share option from Excel. The other day I sent it before I filled it out. Michelle said she was able to get it.
That's right. That's the one in OneDrive, right?
Which I don't know.
The Excel Online.
It's called the results for smartphone use.
Yeah.
But I didn't use the Google Docs Excel. I just used Windows Excel.
Right.
But I'll try saving it to OneDrive.
No, that's how it links it up, is in OneDrive.
Because it's a Gmail account.
Okay.
Any luck?
It looks pretty good.
Okay. This is what you had in mind?
I just wondered, I don't know. I guess the question is how to be able to run the numbers, I guess, is what am I looking for?
Because we agreed that we each would do the ANOVA test.
Right, but ANOVA might actually not be the right test for us.
In her video, Ask Me Anything, she said the two most common things, kind of the farthest we would go beyond what Qualtrics provides us, is a chi-squared test and a T-sample test.
Right.
I bombed the quiz on those 3 questions, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, let me go into my stats. Get into Qualtrics.
For all those readings, see if I can find if I actually had notes on how to do a T-test.
How come the survey is still showing that it's active?
I wonder if Jennifer needs to close it, because I noticed that, like, I was up last night until the hour. It'll be good, and I went in to check it, and it still said active too, and so I thought maybe I'll do it since it's only a few minutes after, but then I wondered too if she needed to close it. But does it still say 35?
Mm-hmm.
Good. It also said, she said that that Qualtrics can do cross tabulation. Let's figure that out. What are you looking for right now?
I'm just looking at the information. And I'm looking back in my files for my biostats stuff.
I wonder.
And did
I figure out how to do crosstabs in the report view or in the data and analysis. Let's go to data.
that's
Crosstabs. Look at that. There it is. It's thinking. All right, hypothesis testing independent. Maybe that's the dependent t-test.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to have to be a chi-square.
Okay. And with that,
Didn't have enough responses in that. How far down did we have to go? How many errors?
those are cross tabulation. What?
Just the amount of data when you see the cross tab
I'm looking at it.
going all the way across and all the way down.
I see a bunch of zeros. Oh, maybe there's some more if you go across like that. Oh, my Lanta. How about this? We need to answer the research questions. So, those are, I wrote them down again. I keep writing them down on different pages as I go along so I don't have to keep turning back.
Right.
Do BYU Idaho students perceive a decrease in face-to-face and social interaction frequency because of smartphone use? So then I started to go through and write down the question numbers that I
correspond.
heard it, right? So, like 3, preferred method of contact with friends, 4, with family, 5, using a smartphone in social setting versus interacting. I've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Just as I was going through it, it felt like those were getting information that answered those questions. And then I wasn't sure what to do with the demographics. Question 4 is, so I'm assigned question 4 through 6. And here, educate me. Is it possible to do a chi-square for all the questions, like as one table, or is it only supposed to be a couple variables? I don't know if they even relate to each other. Good question. Does Excel have a option where you can create a chi-square table, or would you just be filling it out yourself? Do you know?
That's where the forms, the templates that she gave us in the last lesson are the quantitative descriptive statistics and the inference procedures.
Okay. Okay.
But
Histogram and descriptive stats on that one. QQ plot. We already have those descriptive stats in Qualtrics for the most part.
right, but I'm not seeing.
Ooh, look.
Like
one sample t-test. What are you seeing?
Just.
Let's see. Question 4. There would be. All right, I've got a question for you. In question 4, it's one of those ranking ones. And so, first number 1, everybody that ranked 1, it could have been for phone call, video, text, email, social media, in person. Are each one of those a variable? And so for the t-test, I would take phone call and then enter all the numbers for it. Like everyone who said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just as in, is phone call the variable?
Oh, hey, I'm gonna have to go back to stats.
Yeah. No. She said, because in the email I was talking with her, she said she's got students in this class who haven't taken that biostats since the 1970s, and it's not meant to be one that we go into great depth with.
Well, I understand that, but in order to be able to cross-tabulate it, here's my thing is that I was like, the question, on average, how often do you use your smartphone in social settings? Each of those values need to be a different value. Like always, whoever selects always, or I guess the value for always needs to be different than often, than sometimes, than rarely, than never.
Meaning it needs to be done by itself, and then the next one, and then the next one?
Right.
Well, and see, that's where, oh, go ahead.
I'm not, and that's the thing is, when it's doing the cross-tabulating, I mean, I see it's adding it all up and it's breaking it down. But when it comes down to the chi-squares results down at the bottom, I'm like, what answers are they taking?
Uh-huh. Well, this is also where I wonder if we should be combining any. So if you wanted to combine, what is it, always and mostly?
Yeah, but we'd have to do that. Wouldn't we have to do that in Excel and change the value?
Yes, which is what I was wondering as I was inputting information, if that's something where. So I sent a group text yesterday and the email, and I'm sorry, it's like, I don't know why. But she said that it's due, if we want her to review it, it needs to be by Sunday, not Monday.
Right.
And so I was trying to get a feel if people feel like, based on their schedule this weekend, if that's something they can do.
Right.
If not, I don't have a problem with her not reviewing it if that gives us more time to do it. But I wanted to see what other people felt about that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
Well, I think if we're going to need to, it's going to have to be done on Sunday if we're going to get a review on it. Otherwise, if
It does. But is that something you want to do? How much her review? My question.
How much what?
How much do you want her to review it versus us going along and turning it in eventually?
Well, I think it's helpful for her to review it so we see where we're going wrong.
Okay. And that's fine.
But
so, you need to know what others are thinking, willing to do.
Yeah.
I am now leaving to Texas on Sunday night.
Yeah.
So
it's got to be done before then.
Yeah, it was not my choice. My family's like, I don't know why we're waiting until Monday morning. Let's just leave at 6 on Sunday. Okay. So I'll be there at the meeting on Monday. Likely. It's going to be close. I at least have a shot at it. But that also means Sunday's really hard for me. I got to do the work today. I can't promise I'm going to do the work tomorrow because church in the morning, packing, and then going.
Right.
So that's why I want to do what I'm doing today. Right now, I'm using the one sample T test, and I'm using it on question 4 with phone call option, just like you would if you were going to do always. And so I've put the information in. Do I need to hit enter? Because it's not giving me a mean standard deviation, but it gave me confidence level. No. I don't know what I want this to tell me. Maybe I do. The confidence level is 95. T is supposed to be a certain thing. If it's not, or the p-value, it's supposed to be a certain thing. Not that. And it either is or isn't true for that.
Okay, where is my do?
Pardon me. Okay. I need what do I need?
I don't think looking back over it, signing out each of the questions and having to cross tab with all the questions was an adequate use of our time.
No, because I don't know how to do cross tabs. Here's a problem that I see. When I met in previous classes, we would meet on Mondays, so I'm used to meeting on Mondays, but we would also have additional meetings later in the week. We'd start Monday, we'd do stuff, and then we'd figure out things as we went and talk about it more. Because we only meet once a week, I know that for me, I figure things out more as I go along. But then because we're not meeting, it's hard to communicate that.
Yeah. Are they not allowing SPSS anymore?
I still have it.
No, I'm talking about the virtual machine. I used the virtual machine when I took stats, so.
Well, I have access to that fake computer, not fake computer, the real computer. I tried it out the other day. I think it's the same thing you're talking about. If you want, I can share my screen and you can tell me what to do.
Oh, I think I found it. They have the previous version as a shortcut on there. I don't know. I used SPSS, so using Excel for me is foreign territory.
Yeah.
And I know we can do it. I've got the book. I can review it. But.
That's Mocky. This is my Mocky.
Well, right now, what I'd like to do is test all my questions using the independent t-test.
This is Mocky.
Want to know if that's okay, I guess.
This is my Mocky.
Well,
Mocky.
How about this? I'm going to.
That sounds good to me.
You see your wrap?
All right, you want to see my friend? You want to see my friend? Here's my friend.
Hi.
Mocky. That's right, Mocky.
All right, can you go back up with your daddy?
This is Mocky.
Oh, that's your monkey?
Mocky. Yeah, it's a monkey.
Okay, go back upstairs with Dad. Because I feel like if I use that hypothesis, the t-test, let's just call it the t-test, then for each question I can say, I think I'm going to have a null hypothesis for everyone. So like I was saying, phone call has to be its own hypothesis, null hypothesis, video call, and whatnot. I'm going to go at it like that. Each one its own null hypothesis, and then either prove or disprove it. And I'll do that for 4 and 5 and 6, even though 6 isn't really answering the questions. But that's okay. If we each do the questions that we were assigned and bring it together, then we can say this was needed, this was not needed.
Yeah.
So, should I also try to figure out a chi-square test for those questions?
That's a good question. Let me go. Because she sent out. Let me go read again.
Where, lesson 11?
Yeah. Selecting the correct statistical test.
That's right. Forgot that link. Well, hello. So identify all variables and be able to tell what kind they are. Would it be okay if I sent a text saying that the ANOVA's not going to work? I just know that if we don't say anything, we'll be in trouble. But I also know that as soon as I say something, it's going to become a discussion. One sample t-test says what? Okay. One sample t-test. Test the hypothesis that the mean value of the measurement variable equals a theoretical expectation. Did we have expectations?
We do, because that is what our first paper was on, was what the research has said.
Okay.
That's not. They all completed. Do you feel like in this class that we're kind of given the information last minute?
I feel like we're given the information without context. So I don't know if I've, each week felt like it was the last minute, but like, for example, that quiz on which kind of test to use, I realized that we read all about it, but I don't feel like it taught me anything. Like, it was just not, hey, this is how it works.
Right. See, and I thought biostatistics was a requirement for taking this class.
Well, I think it is, but it doesn't seem, based on her comment, it doesn't seem like it's the focus or the core of what we use.
Right, but I'm looking at our results, and it's like, to be able to understand or accurately understand our results, I feel like I have to go back through and refresh myself on everything.
And I feel like I'm looking at the results and they mean something and I just don't know what they mean. Like, this is the standard deviation. So what? Like, okay. What do you want me to do with that? I forgot.
You're the one who's supposed to really make sense of it, though, because you're a stats person.
True and not true, because I asked her and she said everybody's got work to do. What
Right.
I do is the exact, they send it to me and then I make sure it's answering our question. Fantastic.
Well, I think that our meeting this past week wasn't effective in setting up for doing what we needed to do for the assignment.
No, and I know that nobody wants to meet again. So that's cool too.
Because some of them being compared against each other are. I mean, we're doing extra work that is not going to be useful.
Right.
Because like you said, the questions that we have, what are the important questions that we can look at in order to answer our research questions, because that's what it's going to come down to.
I feel like we need to have a discussion with the group as best we can. But at the same time, I was trying to have a discussion yesterday and it ended. Nobody responded. So I don't know if email is the best method or sending a group text. But I do feel like we need to have at least explain what we're doing. Because if I go through and I just do a t-test, possibly a chi-score test, my questions 4 through 6, and then meet up again, it's going to be without explanation of why I decided to do that.
I just say because I'm the statistics guru.
Would that mean anything?
Say I'm the one in charge of making sure that it's right. So no, Jennifer and I have already discussed it. She's like, as much as Claire wants it to be an ANOVA test, she's like, it's not going to be an ANOVA test.
Okay, that's good.
And
yeah.
I know.
So Jennifer's also not really planning on doing an ANOVA test?
Right.
Okay. Good. Don't. Take conclusion. And you know what else I think?
What?
I think it doesn't really have to be this hard. I feel like because it's an online class, it's more difficult. Even though we have the ability to ask the instructor, maybe we don't take advantage of it enough.
Oh, yeah.
This is a class where I feel like I would understand it better if I'd been in the room. And I feel like whatever we're supposed to be doing probably isn't that hard, but we don't have a good enough understanding to make understanding it easier. That's what I think. Well, okay, that's what yes. And I just think that it's not actually going to be done by night. If I'm supposed to look at everybody's and then get that to her.
Well, but it was already decided that we didn't have to have it in until Monday before our meeting.
It was, but they wanted it Monday because I think Jennifer thought Monday was the last day to turn it in.
Right. But nobody's.
No. And so I feel like can do what I can do. I can try to get my part done today.
Right. Well, we have a 2-page limit.
That too. I don't think I'm filling up 2 pages, by the way.
But the question is, it's like, okay, you've got the description for our sample.
Which I did, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think you have to switch it. So as far as percentage and then put the numbers, but I have to go back through the information to double check.
Do that. Actually, no, I think you're right too.
Just offhand, that's what's come into my mind, but I can't quote exactly where it's from, so I don't know if I'm right or if I'm just making it all up in my head.
No, I think I did it that way because she said if you have small numbers, then I got it mixed up too. But no, I think you're right. I think it's easier to just read and say, okay, it was this percentage. That gives you a better idea than trying to remember that 35 was the number that you're comparing 16 to. I will change that. I will just change that.
And then I don't know. I was going to say stuff, but we're recording, so I don't want it documented.
I know. So taking the notes down again. Let me try to create a null hypothesis. See if I am capable of doing such a thing. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Phone call. Video call. Email, social media. In person. So each one of those is a variable. There's a question, but each one is a variable. What was our expectation for phone use? Because that's what I have to compare my null hypothesis.
I think we planned that there was a correlation
Between
increased loneliness with amount of cell phone use.
But
I guess what would the null hypothesis be?
That's because whatever we're saying is this shows no. We have no evidence that this.
So it would be there is no correlation between amount of cell phone use and feelings of loneliness. That would be the null hypothesis.
Yes, I feel like I need, and I agree. I feel like I need a different null hypothesis for my question 4. So let me put There's no
Let's see. 4.
between loneliness. I'm just going to start with this loneliness and smartphone use. But
see, I don't think question 4 would be taken by itself.
what do you mean taken by itself? You think it should go with number 5, or what do you mean?
Well, I guess, rank in order of preference, the most preferred to least preferred method of contact you use to interact with family members.
It looks like 3 and 4 should go together, by the way. I'll take 3. But I just take 3, and then I do 3, 3, 3. Somebody else does.
Well, 3 and 4 are the same thing, because it's just like you would need to use that data along with something in order to be able to. I mean, all that's going to tell us is preference for contact.
Yes. I don't think this one actually, I wrote it down before that it did, but I don't think that actually answers. Does you perceive a decrease in face-to-face because of smartphone use?
Right. Which, I mean, it could in painting a picture, but it would have to be, I guess, correlated with something else.
What if I did it just for in person? Because it's saying like this will rank how much they prefer to talk in person. So what if I ditched phone call, video call, text, email, social media? Well, maybe not. No, for question 1, because question 1, research question 1 specifically talks about face-to-face, so that makes in person. I feel like I can answer those questions.
Right. 3 and 4 would have a bearing just as far as percentage-wise, in talking to what they most prefer. So when we look at, I don't know, I would almost say video call and in person
Could be
together, as far as, because it's the most, video call is as close to being in person as you can without being in person.
So do you want me to combine those in Excel?
I would, and well, I would think so.
I think I can do it in a way that it would it change everything? It doesn't matter, like you said, statistics guru, I think those two need to be combined. And I got a second from the president.
I'm not president, I'm just the group leader.
Okay, I'm just gonna write down combined video and in person. Okay. For 3 and 4. But then even if I did that, you're still saying I need to compare the answers of that to something else?
Well, I think that necessarily wouldn't be, I don't think we would run a test on it. I think it just would be, like the demographic information. It would be based on respondents, their preferred method, so-and-so preferred video call or in person as far as contact, because that's one of our research questions, right?
Yes, it is.
So, so that would answer that. So the data says, our respondents said that, and it could be even surprisingly that they preferred not to, or, just whatever the data says about 3 and 4 is that for contacting friends or family members, they prefer X.
And we don't necessarily have to do a test for everything just to answer the question.
Right. It's just to be able to answer our research questions.
Okay.
You can praise me.
I'm going with that for 3 and 4.
Because there doesn't seem to be a point in doing a chi-square or any type of statistical test other than the fact that, you know, how many percentage of respondents preferred that personal connection.
Yeah. I guess just a thought, and it doesn't even mean it makes sense, but we could also say, by taking it and comparing it to any other part of question 4, saying they preferred in person compared to social media or text.
Yeah, we can even, if there is a clear delineation of, you know, on number 6 on all of them was social media. Therefore, you know, the least preferred method for contact was social media.
Right. So I only need to worry about questions. I know it was 4 through 6. Okay, I'll just, like I said, I think Claire had 1 through 3. I will still let her do 3. I think I'm going to do it 2 just to help because it's going with 4 if it gets done
Yeah.
twice. Okay. So I'm going to answer 3 through 6. And that's all I have to worry about. But just make sure that I answer 3 to 6 as best as I can to every research question.
Yeah. Which, what exactly that means is a good question.
Oh, I'll figure it out all day. What am I looking for? I am looking for lesson 10 because 10 gives examples of what we're trying to say. An application.
I don't even remember which ones I'm supposed to be doing.
I have it written down.
Oh, I'll go look in the file.
You're doing 10 through 12. But then I said we're comparing these. Well, that was just when we were doing the ANOVA.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, interpret your results in terms of the study variables. We observed a relationship between BMI and mean arterial blood pressure. Highlight patterns or trends that you observe. These statements of observed patterns or trends must be supported by evidence or data. That makes sense. If you saw a trend, it would have been in the data.
Yeah.
Refer your readers to tables and figures as appropriate. And then explain it in a logical format. So, what if we just get the information together, everybody does theirs, and tries to get it in by Sunday? It's not going to be compiled in that logical format yet. She could just, I don't know, because she might want to critique that part. I don't think we can get the logical format in and ready for me to submit it by Sunday. But if we can get information in, then I have time to put it together on Monday, Tuesday.
Right. See, I really feel like the stuff that we're doing this next Monday is what should have happened last Monday.
Yeah. But the problem of it is because it was Monday, the start of the week, and because we didn't have the survey results yet, it couldn't have been done.
Right.
But we could still plan to do this on Monday. Well, it is what we're doing. My whole point is I don't think this one's going to make the cut for her review. We want it to. Unless
Well,
you're willing to take it on.
A, nobody's responded on email. B, the last group it was decided that everybody needed to have their parts done by Monday meeting time.
Mhm.
I don't foresee us being able to put in on Sunday.
I don't either. So I am just going to go through my questions according to this, because I have a little bit better understanding. A lot of work,
Right.
but I have a little bit more direction. And then by Monday, say this is what I came up with. I'll take what everybody else has done and put that together and still submit it like I'm supposed to.
Well, you just get it all together. I have to do the submission.
Okay, yes, I'll put.
But yeah, you double check the stats and
Make sure it's answering questions.
right. Make sure it's answering our research questions, because that's really all that it's supposed to do, is that this is what we've seen.
This is what the data is telling us.
Yeah.
Either supports it or it doesn't.
Right. Are you looking over? You're looking overwhelmed.
Oh, yes.
But that's the thing, is as we're going through our thing, that's what we're supposed to be picking out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we all need to answer the questions. I think it's good the way that we split things up.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good.
Yep.
And talk to you later.